At the RBL Institute, we are trying like anything to discover what's next. And we've discovered one of the things next is creating the innovative organization. And here's the steps we've shown. You've got to have an environment, the context, the pace of change. You've got to have a strategy, where we play and where we win. You've got to have a capability, what we know how to do as an organization. That capability is embedded in a network. And our job is to connect the network around that capability. And then we have governance systems around talent and ideas and culture and accountability and technology. And I said before, the key to that working is leadership. You know, every time you ask anybody, what's the key to change? What's the key to success? Leadership. In fact, you could, if you want to pass an HR qualification exam, here's the two answers: communication, leadership. And then reverse them: leadership and then communication. Those two things are at the roots of everything. When we've talked about leadership, it's not about the individual leader, because you can have a great leader. What you want to build is a collective leadership team. So it's not about what I do as a leader. It's about the team I create that makes me better. I would argue it's not enough to say I'm a billionaire, so I'm a great leader. A great leader creates 1,000 millionaires. And so in creating this issue of leadership, we've identified 4 questions you should answer. 1, why leadership matters. We love to ask the question, if we have better leadership at this company, what's going to happen? 80% of the answers are usually around the employee engagement, employee inspiration, employee experience, strategy execution. We believe there's also answers around customers. Good leaders do what customers expect. There's also reasons around investors. Good leaders create confidence in the investment community and the stakeholders. So why do leaders exist? To serve all the stakeholders. What makes great leadership? There's as many answers to that as there are people. We've identified some of the keys to leadership. We said some of it is the code. It's the basic things. It's the threshold. I love this idea of threshold. I just saw some research on it around threshold income that leads to satisfaction, threshold engagement that leads to commitment. There is a threshold of leadership that we call the code, and we've identified 5 things that are a part of that code. These are things leaders need to know and do to be successful. What's really exciting about RBL is we're updating that code 10 years later. And we're saying, here's the new things like unconscious bias and understanding it, like responding more quickly and agilely to markets, like sourcing information, like collaborating with others. That's the code. And then there's the differentiators, the unique things leaders should do given our market position. Those together create a leadership brand. 4th question, how do we then build leadership? Norm Smallwood and I did a book called Leadership Brand. We identified 6 steps to creating leadership. And in RBL, we've woven that in to a lot of our work. It follows some of these steps. Build the business case, define good leadership, assess leadership, invest in leadership, measure leadership, build the reputation. And finally for me, how do I ultimately be a better leader? While leadership is embedded in the system, it starts with the individual. And as an HR professional, my job is to be the architect of the system and the coach of the leaders. And when I can do that, I will help people be better leaders. I will build a better system of the right leadership skills that serve not only those inside but outside the company. Coupled with other governance mechanisms, we create the key capabilities of success around information and customer and innovation and agility. We then focus on capabilities to deliver strategy and to win. Those seem to be the steps of creating an innovative organization. This is what we do at RBL. Let us work with you. Let us help you build that organization that has 4 times the impact of the individual. We know we can make that happen. Thanks.